in governing. We'll talk about her a little more later on in the show tonight. Nikki Haley, who was just named to be our diplomatic envoy to the United Nations. She has no experience in diplomacy, which is what she's being hired to do. How does that look from a historical perspective in terms of how presidencies generally turn out? Joining us now is the great Michael Beschloss, NBC News presidential historian. Michael, thank you for joining us. Happy early Thanksgiving to you.
Happy early Thanksgiving. And what can I say, Rachel? It's a great night here in Washington, D.C.
And it's a great night anytime I get to talk about Nikki Haley getting a job like this. Michael, the thing that seems surprising to me about this is that I expected that because Trump is who he is, I sort of thought that he would make the kinds of appointments that George W. Bush did when he brought in all of the gray hairs from his dad's administration to kind of reassure everybody, yeah, I may not have any experience, but I'm going to bring in a lot of people who will reassure you. These don't feel like he's following that pattern. No, they don't. And you know, he kept on saying during the campaign, elect me and I'll look everywhere and I will bring in the best people to do this. And, you know, I thought he would have been sensitive to the fact that, as we've been saying, this is the first president with zero public service experience, zero military experience. You know, you would expect him to know what he does not know and do, for instance, what Jimmy Carter did, who had been one-term governor of Georgia, although he spent years in the Navy. He brought in Iris Vance, who had been Deputy Secretary of Defense. Said George W. Bush bringing in Colin Powell, Secretary of State, who had been chairman of the Joint Chiefs, or Barack Obama not only did all that, but he held over George W. Bush's Secretary of Defense, Bob Gates. That's what they usually do. In terms of past president, not just past precedent, but you know, whether we should be worried, is there any hard and fast rule that history teaches us in terms of whether or not experienced people are better at these kinds of jobs? Are there track records that we should know about where people came in who appeared to be totally unsuited for the jobs for which they were being picked, but it ended up being kind of a nice, refreshing change? It ended up being something that where the president had more wisdom than we could see from afar.
Oh yeah, but very much, you know, could be. I mean, Harry Truman himself came in, had been senator for 10 years, you know, not great foreign policy experience himself, like Franklin Roosevelt but was able to pick up the reins. But the point is that we're in a world that is, you know, we don't need to say how complicated it is. You know, Barack Obama apparently said to Donald Trump, you've got to watch North Korea. That could be one of your first tests. It's a world of terrorism, everything that's going on in the Middle East. Donald Trump is coming in as a war president. Not all presidents do. And the other thing is that through this campaign, he's talked about big changes in foreign policy of the kind that we rarely see. Changes in NATO, changes in our alliances, perhaps changes in what we think is a good idea for other countries controlling nuclear weapons. And to do that with a team that is as, you know, traditional terms, unexperienced as this one is, it's really amazing.
Michael Beschloss, NBC News presidential historian. I never like it when presidential historians use words like amazing, because it means we're in shaky territory.
One precedent going after another, but have a great holiday, Rachel.
Thank you, Michael. I really appreciate it. You too. I should tell you that NBC News confirmed tonight something that had previously been reported from the Washington Post, which is that apparently, since the president-elect has been president-elect, he has only taken 2 intelligence briefings. He has been turning intelligence briefers away. By this point, everybody thought Donald Trump was getting a daily presidential brief. President Obama okayed both Vice President Pence and President-elect Trump to be getting the presidential daily brief every day. Apparently, Donald Trump is not interested. He's done it twice, and every other day he said no, doesn't want to hear it. We'll be right back.
You are watching MSNBC International.